It is the middle of May, but the Ohio State-Michigan rivalry never sleeps. Gene Smith, outgoing Ohio State athletic director, was on a podcast recently, and he was asked, I think it was a podcast, some interview. He was asked whether he thought, kind of a loaded question, but, whatever. Should Michigan's 3 victories in the last 3 years over Ohio State have an asterisk on it attached because of the work of young Connor Stalions and his advanced scouting operation?
Kind of a loaded question. Pretty loaded.
Yeah, of course I do, Smith said. I mean, he's the outgoing athletic director at Ohio State. Of course I do. The rules are in place to protect the integrity of the game and try your best to create a level playing field. When those rules are violated, it affects those principles. We have to keep that in perspective. So, Gene Smith, who we often speak admirably here, big-time athletic director, on his way out the door, throwing the old asterisk card down. I present it to you. I'm gonna then after this topic, I'm gonna try to bring everyone back together. This is really good work for me because it's Mother's Day. Everyone's supposed to be happy on Mother's Day. But start with you, Pat. Does Gene Smith know what he's talking about here?
Well, this is the rivalry, right? Somebody offers you a chance to besmirch your rival, to undercut their achievements at your expense. You take it. And he did. And yeah, he's the one going out, and it's Ross Bjork that has to go sit in the press box next year with Ward Manuel. So this is Gene riding out of town with guns blazing, I guess. You might be able to make an argument that he has a case for 2021 and 2022. I don't see how he has any case for 2023. Connor Stalions was out of business, basically, by the time they got around to playing each other this past year. And maybe he had stolen signals earlier, but for the love of God, we know Ohio State had changed their signals by then. Now, the other 2 games, and, we saw that video from the 22 game where, Stalions appeared to be getting signals and relaying them to Jesse Minter and relaying them the whole sidelines erupting, with various signaling and gesticulating. So were they getting an advantage then? Yeah, they very well might have been. I don't know whether you can put an asterisk on it yet. There is still an ongoing investigation by the NCAA if the NCAA does still do investigations, and we think they do, at least in this case. This isn't an impermissible benefits that no longer applies. This isn't something that the attorneys general were able to wipe off the books, to the best of my knowledge. So this is maybe the last interesting NCAA infractions case, and we don't know where it stands, but when we see where it stands, we might have a little more indication whether Gene Smith's got an argument here.
The old asterisk was a storyline I wrote about. Well, leading into the championship, I remember going around interviewing some administrators within the industry to kind of gather some comments on what they thought specifically about the asterisk if Michigan had won. And then when they won, Ward Manuel, the Michigan athletic director, I remember being down the field, confetti raining down, players celebrating all around him. And I asked him about the asterisk that many of his fellow administrators believe should be on Michigan's championship and perhaps on other games, as Gene Smith noted. He responded with 2 words: hell nah. was the 2-word response. He went on to say, why? I don't know why. They proved it on the field. Why would somebody want to say now that there's some asterisk? Ridiculous. This team has proven they're a champion, period. End of story. There ain't no asterisk. So pretty aggressive there, obviously. Pretty honest on the field after the game. We weren't specifically speaking about the Ohio State series. We were talking a little bit more about the national championship game, but certainly, or the championship in general, but certainly the Ohio State games contributed through the years in that championship. And it's going to be one of those things that go down in history. And maybe it's dependent on the finalization of the NCAA's investigation, which, maybe weeks or months still away. But this is going to be a point argued by college sports fans and those within the industry, I think, for quite some time.
That was not. It offered no ruling there. I heard no ruling. That's okay.
I don't know how to rule on this.
It seems we have a difference of opinion between the Michigan AD and the Ohio State AD. I can't believe it.
I know, shocking.
Okay.
2021 and 2022, yes.
No,
asterisk. 23,
you are so
no.
bad. No asterisk ever. I hate the asterisk. You know what? You know what I hate about this word?
You wanted an opinion, then all of a sudden it's a bad opinion.
This word, for someone who cannot pronounce any words in the English language, asterisk is a landmine. It is a landmine. I am terrified of saying this word. I don't know something bad's going to come out after I get through the ass part. Okay, look, I don't know how to
Aster. 2 parts. Asterisk.
Asterisk. Okay, whatever. I hate them to begin with. I hate the vacated, take the banners down, all this stuff like it didn't happen. Okay, so blatant, that's my baseline. I can't stand this stuff to begin with. It either happened or it didn't happen. You either caught him or not. You go back through, because if you want to start going down, they missed this pass interference, they missed this holding call. You're never, ever going to get to the end of this thing. They play the game ends. This is Ohio State, Michigan. They had a 10-year period, a decade-long period between Woody Hayes and Bo Schembechler that is affectionately called on both sides of the rivalry the 10-year war. They had a literal war between these two states for Toledo. They fought.
Congrats to Ohio for winning that one.
Congrats or not. Congrats to Michigan for not getting Toledo, some would say. Dave Briggs is going to kill me on that. It's a Toledo joke.
We have listeners in Toledo. We love you.
We love Toledo. It's okay.
Toledo has their Toledo Mud Hens are outdrawing a number of Major League Baseball teams. They have so much passion about sports in Toledo. It's crazy. And they sell out all their minor league hockey games. They have better fans than Phoenix.
Hey, really? The Rocket, Toledo has the most consistent, probably over the last decade, group of
football
5 program.
And basketball. No, I love Toledo. But it had to be. Sorry, I stooped and told a Toledo joke. But anyway, who did really win the Toledo War? Anyway, they had Urban Meyer. This is blood sport. They do everything to compete against each other. Do they push the lines? Did Connor Stallions seemingly break the rules? Absolutely. Okay, not even to question, but to question all of it. If Ryan Day was going into the 12th game of the season, because you can steal the signs, we know, totally allowed to steal the signs off of TV, steal the signs off a coaching video, steal the signs from your friends on the other teams that just played them, and sent you what they figured out during their advanced scouting. If an Ohio State coach goes into the final game, or Michigan coach, with the exact same signals they had all 11 previous weeks after having countdown clocks and refusing to call, I call them Ohio. I don't say Ohio State. That team up north, we're going to patch out all the M's in Columbus with the little pieces of tape so there's no M. If you're so obsessed with that stuff, you can't wear blue NFL GM could show up to scout your players, and if he's wearing a blue shirt, he has to get thrown out of the thing. And you are going in with the same signals. It's like you're not allowed to get mugged, right? But if you walk down a dark alley waving $100 bills around, I'm just saying.
Asking for it, Dan?
I'm just saying. There's no asterisk in this. Gene Smith knows that I have a great admiration for him. Calling for an asterisk on this is weak sauce. Just come back and beat him. It is weak sauce. It is the same thing as declaring your team as tough as can be because you beat Notre Dame and 10 guys in September. Ohio State wants to settle this. They settle it by beating Michigan head up. This is weak with the asterisk talk. It'll probably go on forever. It's going to make my head hurt forever. These are the games. Connor Stallions was doing, yes, there was the video. Oh, he knew the plays. How do you know when he got that?
When he got
how
the video,
did he steal the sign?
when he got the plays?
Maybe they stole it this way. Maybe they stole it that way. Everyone had each other's signs. It's just part of the game. You can't be crying. Last November, they got rid of Harbaugh as a punishment to even the Big Ten came in and said we need to even this out. It's like it's like in hockey. You trip the guy, say 2 minutes, you're down a guy, 5-on-4 power play, or we'll give you a breakaway. We'll give you a penalty shot even. The Big Ten came and said, we're going to even this out. Not only is Connor long gone, Harbaugh's gone. You have to coach against Sharon Moore. There's no asterisk on that. I implore the Ohio State people to think. You don't want to go down this road where you're crying about asterisks. That's embarrassing. Waving asterisks.
21 and 22.
You're going to look, it's embarrassing.
I don't know.
Well, there's gonna be an asterisk at some point, literally in the record books, because the NCAA is gonna rule. So the investigation's gonna upturn something that impacts those seasons, and there's gonna literally be a little
that's the NCAA's weak bit. It's like, okay, they took away Louisville's national championship in the 2013 basketball season.
Oh, I know. The
vacated
wins
sit there,
is laughable.
I don't know who they beat, but let's say I'm not remembering the record, but let's say they beat, like, is Mike Krzyzewski go, oh, we deserve a victory for that game they beat us in? Like, you'd be like, shut up, Kay. You got enough victories. If they had, I don't know, maybe they defeated Kentucky that year. If John Calipari was out going, oh, they cheated. Obviously, they didn't. You'd be like, shut up, Cal.
Those victories were vacated for paying players as opposed to actual something on the field competitive
advantage if you have a professional athlete playing against amateurs, per the NCAA's rules.
Yeah,
that's why they do it. The asterisk is an embarrassing call for Ohio State. I get it. Be bitter, but you didn't lose November was when you needed to shut them up. And they didn't.
But Gene Smith's done, baby. He can be bitter all he wants on the way out the door. Not a good look for
Gene Smith.
Tossing grenades out the window on the
That's
exit
I will
ramp.
mock this call forever.